impossible to plan on how to go backwards.
Right now, business owners bracing for the possibility of shifting back into the most restrictive purple tier. Now, they say this reopening roller coaster is impacting their bottom line. Vista Unified welcoming students back into the classroom. A closer look at the precautions in place to prevent the spread of COVID-19. New feature to reduce interruptions at the next presidential debate. We'll have those details as early voting hits new levels. ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
Yeah, and welcome this midday. Great to have you with us. I'm Jim Patton, joined remotely by my co-anchor Virginia Cha and Vanessa Paz in for Megan with the weather today. Going to talk to you both very shortly. Well, today we could learn if San Diego is teetering toward more coronavirus shutdowns. County officials are expected to update our case rate, which impacts our status on the state's tier system. ABC 10 News anchor Mary McKenzie spoke to a local gym owner about what it feels like to ride the reopening roller coaster.
Here at Fit Athletic, they're open right now at 10% capacity and worried about possibly having to shut back down.
But when you're talking to us about going from 10% to zero, we don't really have a plan for that.
The 5 locations owned by Scott Lutwack have very limited outdoor operations. At the gym in Little Italy, for instance, they don't have the space for outdoor classes. He also points out that we're heading into colder months and coming up to shorter days with the time change. So he isn't sure what they'll do if the county slides back into the more restrictive purple tier. Last week, county leaders held an emergency news conference to sound the alarm that our case rate had climbed to 7.8, well over the state's 7.0 limit for staying in the red tier. The adjusted case rate is expected to be announced today for the week of October 4th through 10th. If we're above 7, we'll move closer to the purple tier, the most restrictive. It takes 2 consecutive weeks with those high numbers to move tiers, so we'd be looking ahead to the following Tuesday for a backwards move. If that happens, restaurants, bars, and churches will have to move back completely outdoors. Retail would have to lower capacity. Museums, zoos, and aquariums would have to go outside, as would gyms once again.
It's more about, what the members and the employees are going through. It affects, thousands of people's lives. I think that the mistake that's just being made here in California is that, we need to look at fitness as essential.
Health officials made that plea last Friday and will likely do so again today to get everyone to be more vigilant about wearing masks and avoiding indoor gatherings. Mary McKenzie, ABC 10 News.
And here are the latest numbers. The county reporting 380 new cases, bringing our total to 52,700. No new deaths reported, so that toll remains at 853. Schools in the Vista Unified School District welcome back students and teachers on campus today. ABC 10 News reporter Marie Cornell has more on the first day of in-person learning.
The Vista School District reopened campuses today, bringing back students and staff who chose to return despite concerns about the district's reopening plan.
For the first time in more than 7 months, students with backpacks were seen walking to school at Vista High as the district resumed in-person classes. The students we spoke to had mixed reactions to coming back.
I've been wanting to come back, so.
Why?
Because I just miss going out and actually interacting with people and not being quarantined.
I don't want to catch this corona and spread it to my family.
This comes as parents and some teachers have expressed concerns over the district's reopening plan. On their website, the district lays out the safety measures that are in place, like requiring face masks and cleaning. But it also makes it clear that all classrooms will have the normal amount of students enrolled, saying, quote, "This means that while we will be following social distancing procedures, student seating arrangements will be less than 6 feet apart." The president of the Teachers Association, Carrie Avila, says on the first day back, they're already seeing issues that need to be addressed to ensure that everyone stays safe.
The problem is that it's just not equitable throughout the district. What some classrooms have, other classrooms don't have, and we just want the safety the same for all of our members and all of our students.
Avila says if the county does move into the purple tier, she's been told that the board will schedule a special meeting where they will discuss that situation. Reporting from Vista, Marie Cornell, ABC 10 News.
Well, talks among lawmakers today could determine if we see a new COVID relief bill before Election Day. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has set a deadline for Republicans and Democrats to come together today and try to strike a deal. Both sides have been struggling to agree on a price tag for the benefits Americans would see out of the legislation. Pelosi says without at least a verbal agreement among lawmakers today, it's going to be unlikely that a deal will go through before the election, which would push the benefits back to 2021. Virginia?
Thank you, Jim. More than 31 million votes cast already across the country, with Election Day now 2 weeks away, and some new rules in place for the presidential candidates as they prepare for their final debate Thursday. ABC's senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega has the latest.
As the country faces a third coronavirus wave and nearly 220,000 deaths, President Trump on the campaign trail saying voters are tired of hearing about the pandemic.
People are pandemicked out. You know that? They're pandemicked out.
The president on a swing through the battleground of Arizona, where cases are on the rise, the packed crowd mostly without masks. With polls showing a majority of Americans unhappy with his handling of the virus, President Trump now laser focused on a new target, the nation's leading infectious disease expert.
People are tired of hearing Fauci and all these idiots.
On a call with his campaign team, the president on the attack against Dr. Anthony Fauci.
Every time he goes on television, there's always a bomb. But there's a bigger bomb if you fire him.
But when it comes to the virus, voters overwhelmingly trust Dr. Fauci over the president.
We're really, going through a time that's disturbingly anti-science in certain segments of our society. That's very troublesome to me.
Fauci telling 60 Minutes the attacks have led to death threats.
Have there been death threats against you and your family?
Yeah.
All of you, your
No,
daughters?
just me, but harassment against the rest of the family.
Even the president's allies coming to Fauci's defense. Republican Senator Lamar Alexander tweeting, if more Americans paid attention to his advice, we'd have fewer cases of COVID-19, and it would be safer to go back to school and back to work and out to eat. Joe Biden off the campaign trail preparing for Thursday's debate, saying the president attacking him for listening to scientists isn't actually an attack, it's, quote, a badge of honor. And this morning, with just 2 days to go until that final face-off, the debate commission announcing a major change to the debate stage. As one candidate gives his 2-minute answer, the other's microphone will be muted, but both microphones will be left on during follow-up discussions. The change coming after that first debate debacle.
You made a point, let him answer it.
President Trump repeatedly interrupting and ignoring the rules.
That was Cecilia Vega reporting. Now, the final presidential debate is this Thursday. Coverage begins right here on ABC 10 at 5 p.m. The debate gets underway at 6, followed by a special edition of ABC 10 News at 8. We have just learned First Lady Melania Trump is no longer traveling with the president to Pennsylvania today, with her office citing a, quote, lingering cough. Now, the First Lady's chief of staff released a statement saying, quote, Mrs. Trump continues to feel better every day following her recovery from COVID-19, but with a lingering cough and out of an abundance of caution, she will not be traveling today. Well, happening right now, a rally on both sides of the border to push for asylum rights. Immigrant rights organizations in San Diego being joined by migrants and human rights groups in Tijuana. They're sharing firsthand testimonials about the impact of the restrictions on migration. That rally is at the San Ysidro port of entry. The Camp Pendleton service members who have been helping fight wildfires in Northern California are set to come home today. The first will be the more than 200 Marines and sailors sent to the Creek Fire near Fresno 1 month ago. Then they moved to the August Complex Fire. Both of those fires are still active, according to CAL FIRE. The August fire has burned more than 1 million acres and is 88% contained. That number includes the Doe Fire as well. And the Creek Fire has scorched more than 350,000 acres and is 61% contained. All of the Camp Pendleton Marines, by the way, volunteered to fight those fires.